What's going on, Milli Roaders? If this is not your first time tuning into the channel, welcome back. If this is your first time, welcome to the channel. I want to give a huge thank you to all the guys that have subscribed to my channel so far. I'm trying to reach a 500 subscriber goal by June of 2020, and I'm almost there thanks to you guys. So please continue subscribing, and if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button so we can continue reaching that goal. All right, guys, so let's get started with this review. So right behind me, I have this 2019 Jetta GLI, and right off the bat, it looks very nice, and you can tell it apart from the regular Jetta that you do see on the streets. This is the S version of the GLI, and let's go to a front grille because it's probably one of my favorite things on this car. And of course, you see that it does have the GLI here in red and a nice red outline in the front of the grille, which looks very nice in my opinion. Especially with this color and other colors that's not red. I think it ties it in very nicely to the car. Moving on here in the rest of the grille, you see that it does have gloss black trim up here and certain areas of the grille, and including down here in this bottom part, right next to these fake vents. These are not functional whatsoever. There's plastic, but it does give it a nice cool factor or a nice look to it. Continue on with here, you do see that these headlights, in here it does have nice LED that kind of hugs the entire headlight, so it's very nice, especially at night when you're driving. It looks super cool at night. All right, so moving on to the side here, I do want to point out these wheels look very nice. These do come with the S trim, which this is, and I want to point out the brake calipers in here because these brake calipers are the ones from the Golf R, and of course they put it on this car because it does have more power than the regular Jetta. It does come with 228 horsepower and 258 pound-feet of torque, and it is a turbocharged engine, so it's very nice. But moving on to the side here, I do want to say that it does have the GLI lettering right here, and it does have this red background, which looks very nice and ties it in with the brake caliper as well. And I think it looks very nice. Of course, that follows this entire side of the car, and it does have a nice line, which I absolutely love it. But I want to go here to the mirror, which here it has LED strip. So when you put the turn signal on, it lights up. And right inside the actual mirror itself, right here, when you put the turn signal, you'll see it, but it does have blind spot monitoring as well. So it's a nice safety feature there that it does have. Now these door handles, I think they're very nice. You put your hand inside the door handle and it does unlock the car. And when you're done, you leave, you want to lock it, you slide your finger over here and there you go, it locks the car, so it's pretty cool. But yeah, just moving along to the side of the car, I absolutely love it. I love the lines, and I do like that the side skirt is matte black and it matches with the front splitter and the rear diffuser, which I'm going to talk about right now. So I think this is very aggressive. Of course, the diffuser, I absolutely love it. It was a nice touch that Volkswagen did because this car is a little bit more sporty, and it does have, of course, here in the trunk, more GLI lettering right there in red, which is pretty nice. But all in all, guys, I really like this car. I think it's a nice buy, especially for starting around $26,000 with the stick shift version. This is automatic version, so it's 800 more bucks. But you know what? I absolutely love it. But anyways, let's move on to the trunk space because I do this bit in all my videos where I try to fit a set of golf clubs into the trunk of the cars that I review. So let's get to that now. So as you can see, this key does have a button here so you can pop the trunk open, so you just leave it pressed and the trunk opens up, so it's very nice. And it does reveal 14.1 cubic feet of storage, so it's enough, I think, to be able to fit the set of golf clubs in there comfortably. So let's throw this thing in there. As you can tell, it went in right away, and there's plenty more space here on the right and on the left hand side, so you can store many other things, go shopping right after golfing, whatever you want to do. Plenty of space, so it's big thumbs up for me. Alright guys, so now that we're inside the interior of this 2019 Jetta GLI, I do want to talk about the steering wheel first because it is flat bottom. I'm a huge fan of it. I do like that it's completely leather wrapped, and it does have this nice red stitching throughout the entire steering wheel, which is a very nice touch. And here you see the tach and the speedometer, which is all black, but it does have some nice red outlining there, which is a very nice touch. It makes it look more sporty. And then of course here in the steering wheel, you have different buttons, so you could go through the different settings there, and if you want to put cruise control, you have it on this side as well. So that's pretty nice. Now moving on to the door here, you do see that it has some like carbon fiber looking trim, and then going on to this gloss black trim right here that does tie in the rest of the dash together. So that's a very nice touch. Of course, the carbon fiber does continue on this side, but all this is just gloss black, which in my opinion, I like it very much. Now, this screen right here is a 6.5-inch screen, and it's actually very responsive. You could connect your Apple iPhone or your Android phone right here, and you can see that you can go through the menus pretty quickly. So that's pretty cool. And then you have different buttons here, so you go about choosing different options and whatnot. Moving down here, you see that you do have the air controls, and you know what, these buttons are actually very nice. They're not, for a $26,000 car, they don't feel so cheap. They feel actually pretty nice on your hands, because it does have some like nice rubberized material throughout the outside here, so that's pretty cool. And again, gloss black, so you can see that it does tie in everything very nicely. Now moving on down, you do see that you have a USB port right here, and then you could also get one of these adapters and put it right there, and you could connect your phone there so you could charge it and whatnot. Right here you do have the stop button, so that's pretty nice. Instead of having it traditionally here, you have it here, so it gives it a more sporty look. And then one thing that I don't like about this part is that it does have these fake buttons here, which I wish they would have just switched this traction control button to this side, so you have all this closer to a driver. But you know, whatever, that's, you know, not a big deal, of course. You get over that. Now this shifter, more leather and red stitching right here that ties in very well with the steering wheel. But this is a DSG transmission, so it is a 7-speed dual clutch automatic. So you could either shift it by putting it here and turning to the side and shift up and down, or you could use the paddle shifters behind the steering wheel, which is probably my favorite way to do it. So you can shift up and down whatever gears you want. Continue on down here, you do see that you have two more cup holders, which are actually not the biggest cup holders, but you know, big enough to fit whatever you need. And then moving on here to the cubby in the center, you do notice that the center or the inside is white, and they did this on purpose, so you'll be able to find whatever black stuff you drop in there, you know, at night, whatever, you're able to see whatever's in there. So that's actually pretty cool. I haven't seen that before, so that's a very nice touch from Volkswagen. And then right here, the armrest in black leather with red stitching that does follow the theme of the rest of the car, so that's pretty damn nice. So one thing I forgot to mention, guys, is that this car does come with red lighting throughout the entire bottom of the dash, so that's pretty cool, and through the door as well. Of course, it's daytime right now, so it's very hard to see, but I think that's very cool. That does have ambient lighting in red, of course, matching the rest of the red theme of this car. So big thumbs up if you like this feature. You just give a thumbs up to this video. I think you guys will like this car very much. But anyways, continuing on, I want to talk about these seats right here, which they're actually very comfortable. I'm sitting in it right now, and it's very nice. It's snug. It's not too out of this world, but they are very comfy, and of course they do match the rest of the theme. So black with red stitching right here, so that's pretty nice. But they are very sporty, so I do like it a lot. But let's go to the back seat so you guys can see how it would be if you guys have some passengers in the rear seat. I'm gonna leave the seat like how I would be if I was driving, and then I'm gonna sit behind myself, so see how much space or leg room I have behind myself. So I'll see you now. Alright guys, so now that we're in the back of this 2019 Jetta GLI, you can see that there's plenty of leg room. So I left the seat how I was in the front, and you could tell that I could extend my hand pretty well there, and I don't reach it at all. Again, I'm 5'9", so I'm not that tall, but it's pretty nice that there is plenty of space back here. Now, these seats back here are very comfortable. They kind of did a good job of separating the two seats, so both passengers feel like, you know, you have two separate seats instead of just one back seat. I don't know if you understand what I mean, but I do like that a lot, that it is separated and it makes it look more sporty in the interior. And here in the middle, between the two seats, there is a nice armrest with two cup holders, which again, they're not the biggest cup holders in the world, but it's pretty nice. And of course, you know, very comfortable as well. But anyways, guys, I think I'm done with reviewing the interior of this car. So let's get to the driving portion right now. And we're gonna do a little bit of launch control and a little bit of accelerations here and there. So let's get to that. All right, guys, so I do want to teach you guys how to do launch control in this car because it's pretty cool. That does come with launch control. And yeah, let me show you. So first thing you do is that you put in drive and then you put it down to put in sport. And then you can see right there that you're in sport mode. So then the next thing you do is that you press the ESC off button, and you can see there that traction control is deactivated. And then you press your left foot on the front, you put your left foot on the brake, and then you just step down the accelerator, and you can see that it holds the RPMs, and then you just let go. Woo! Wow! And that just lit up the tires. Alright guys, so now that we're driving the 2019 Jetta GLI, I have it in normal mode right now, and it's very tame. The gearing is you know, not so long, so it shifts right away. And you know what, you don't feel the shifting just because of that wonderful DSG transmission that this car does have, and it does come with. I think it's super comfortable to drive. And you know, maybe it's just me that I'm picking, but when you put the blinkers, it does have a nice clicking noise, and it's not those like the plasticky sounding clicking. I don't know if you know what I mean, but I'm very particular when it comes to the clicking noise of the car. I don't know, that's just me. But just from your guys' view from back there, I don't know if you guys were able to see it, but here the dash does kind of point toward the driver, so I think that's pretty cool that it does kind of like separate the driver. It makes you feel like, you know, you're behind a cockpit, you know, and it gives you more like an inspired feeling to drive this car. I think that's a very nice touch. Again, I think Volkswagen and the team over at Volkswagen did a very good job of you know, redoing this car and making it look so nice and feel the way it feels and the way it drives. Once again, I have this on normal mode, so if you come down here, you have another you have a button right here where you choose the different modes. So I'm gonna put it on sport mode. You can see it here on the screen, and you can see it right here in the middle of the dash. And the moment you put it into sport mode, you could already hear the engine kick up. You hear it through the front right here. You hear the engine, and then the transmission does have the gearing a little bit higher, so that way your gears do rev up a little bit longer, and you have more turbo spool right away for faster acceleration like this. And it does accelerate pretty nicely. Again, 228 horsepower and 258 pound-feet of torque, and you can see there the gear actually stayed in the gear that I was in, so it didn't downshift unless I downshift with the actual paddle shifters. I lost my train of thought there real quick, but as you can tell, the car drives very nice, and when you downshift, it sounds very cool. But let me just put it back in normal mode, and I will continue driving in this beautiful 2019 Jetta GLI. So you can see that there's a lot more tame there. Well, anyways guys, I think I've covered everything I needed to cover with this car. If you did like this video, please make sure to give me a huge thumbs up on this video. It does help with YouTube's algorithm, and it does help me get more exposure so I can get better looking cars or nicer looking cars, exotics, Ferraris, whatever. It does help me tremendously. And of course, if you did like the video even more, please make sure to hit that subscribe button. I'm trying to reach that 500 subscriber goal by June of 2020, so please help me reach it or surpass it. If we could surpass it, that'll be even more fantastic than just by reaching the 500 subscribers. But anyways guys, I think that's all for me. If you liked it, I'll see you guys on the next review. Peace.